Hi Scorpio, welcome to your February 2025 AstroTarot with me, Raphael. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. So let's get into what this month has in store for you. Before we do, just remember, whenever I'm talking about astrology, I'm always using the tropical whole sign house system, the Western system. All right. So with that said, I would like to bless my decks of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity, and abundance. And I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise. They help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. So I'm going to give these a shuffle. And there's this, and these will be for your lunations. I'll give these a shuffle now as well. All right, and so in ancient astrology, as I'm sure you are aware by now, Mars was your ruling planet, right? And so at this time, Mars is retrograde in the sign of Cancer. Mars, being you, is retrograde in the sign of Cancer, in your 9th house. And it's in a direct trine as of, and if I ever forget the dates or the degrees, you'll find that stuff in the description below. All right. So this is for you happening across your 5th house and your 9th house. Personally, I love this transit. It's the second one that you're getting because of the Mars retrograde. Now, Mars, obviously in Cancer, is not in its greatest, but Mars trine Saturn across a water house is beautiful because it provides what I like to see, or should I say across the water element, it provides what I like to call emotional stability and security, but it does this by providing like what's the word that I'm looking for? It's kind of like a really strong emotional fortitude, right? That's the word that I was looking for. Mars is action, energy, passion, irritation, war, challenge, conflict, etc. Saturn is discipline, dedication, the hard work, the rules, do it right the first time, don't do it again. Do you know what I mean? So when these two come together, you can really make progress in the spaces, or that they are sort of highlighting in your life. Now, because both of these are in fellow water signs, they are trining this ascendant. So whatever you have in here, whether it's planets, even if it's not planets, they are still offering a trine to your ascendant, even if it's past the degree of your ascendant or whatever. By the whole sign, you are getting the benefit from this. That Mars retrograde in Cancer in the 9th house of expansion and travel in your belief system is forming a really nice trine to that Pisces house of creativity and joy, self-expression. Now, think back to October, around the 11th of October of 2024. What was highlighted for you around around studies or publishing or books, around YouTube, around any form of reaching the world via a platform? What were you thinking about in terms of education and studies and learning when it comes to Pisces energy? What were you focused on at this time? What I will say to you is this. Because Pisces is occupying your 5th house of creativity, joy, your personal business, all of this stuff is highlighted for you. This harmonious connection is really bringing stability and discipline, and especially to your creative or even your romantic endeavors. It's a really good time to focus on passion projects, creative skills, maybe even deepen your connection with like a romantic partner. That could be really nice. It could be as well that, this is a time where you start thinking about dedicating more time to that, especially for those of you that are single, right? This can be where you start to say, okay, you know what? I'm going to start getting disciplined about actually making time to go out and date. I'm actually going to start making time for romance and pleasure and joy and creativity in my life. Or if I've got a creative idea, I'm going to dedicate more time to actually learning the skills that I need to turn that into something something profitable. And if you've got children, this could also be a time where you start really dedicating more time to teaching them things that you want them to know, right? Going beyond the usual school, as it were. So love this. I actually really like this one. You got the Two of Cups, partnerships and romance, with the Seven of Pentacles and how much time you're willing to invest in that, and the Queen of Pentacles. Queen of Pentacles is usually an earth sign person, Taurus, Capricorn, Virgo. It's usually an air sign woman. With the Seven of Pentacles, I feel like this is somebody who is going to be the Saturn in your life, and they're going to give you the challenge to say, listen, you need to show up a bit more here, whether that's in your studies, whether it's in your your creative sphere, like wherever it is. This is you being really clear, or somebody making you really clear that you need to invest more time in your romantic life or endeavors. So love that for you. Now, on the 9th or 10th of the month, Mercury will come into a Cazimi in your 4th house. On the 9th or the 10th, give or take where you are in the world. So I call this conjunction of Mercury and the Sun divine inspiration. Mercury in Aquarius in your 4th house is home, family, property, your emotional foundations and outlook. And it's bringing a sense of clarity and inspiration into this area of your life. Now, Mercury for you rules your 11th house and your 8th house. These are both gains houses. So how you gain or take on business from or through homes and or property, or maybe even a home-based business potentially for some of you, could be highlighted at the moment. And the Sun highlights your career, right? So there might be things at the moment that you're starting to really think, okay, how can I, not even just resolve domestic matters or issues, but how can I bring more resources in around with, or, finances. Could also be a time where you're emotionally reflecting on your living situation, maybe helping you get a deeper understanding of your roots, or maybe even understanding your upbringing, your relationship to your parents in some way, shape or form. There might be a really powerful insight now that gets you to really understand where you are in terms of that sort of living situational sphere. If you've considered like any sort of home related project, so like a DIY or whatever, this might be a really good time to brainstorm around it and think about having conversations with family members or people that you live with, and to get more insight. For this, oh, look at that, right? You got the Sun, beautiful, with the Judgment card. You made a good call here, whatever the call might be. And you've got this with the Temperance card. I love this for harking back to a time where your emotions felt balanced and aligned with the things that you want and are experiencing in your daily sphere as it relates to your home, family, property, real estate, etc. This is you, I don't know, the feeling that I get from this is it's kind of like by the skin of your teeth. Even though the Sun card is here, which is overwhelmingly positive, there is a sense of like, yeah, just about, right? This goes in your favor in some regard. Now, with the Judgment card and the Temperance here, it's possible that something from your past, like the deep past of your family, could be coming up. It could be a blessing. It could be, maybe a grandparent or great aunt or uncle has left you something. It could be that you have, some kind of really, what's the word? Some kind of, just wonderful insight in some regard. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It's just a really strong feeling that I have. And it could center around your family or your heritage in some regard. Also, with this triplet, there's another card that I would really want to see as part of this, but I'm going to say this anyway. Do not be surprised if at this time you have a really powerful, vivid dream of a loved one who is no longer with you in real life, right? In tangible life. This could be a dream, a visitation. Maybe you hear something and you're like, oh my gosh, that just reminds me of them so much. Or do you know what I mean? Like, it could be really powerful and also really beautiful. I mean, you all know, obviously, last year I lost my grandmother, and it was hard. You know, she was very loved, and I got to be honest with you, it wasn't. She came through quicker than I expected. I didn't think I would be here. Honestly, I just didn't, because she was a very devout Catholic. You know, she was very, very much like that. So I did wonder if she would come, but she did. She's been in dreams, and when I tell you, every time she comes to me, like in my dreams or whatever, the light, I cannot tell you the light that she is bathed in. Like, I've never really been one to believe in heaven, but I know that that's where she is. Like, there's no other explanation. Anywho, I digress. On the 14th, on Valentine's Day, Mercury is going to enter the sign of Pisces, right? So, Mercury in the 5th house is fun, it's playful, it's joyous, it's going to bring a lot of flirty energy and vibrational energy to the fore. You're probably going to be a little bit more touchy-feely. You know, you might be flirting that much more. If you're single, maybe you're doing a lot of texting and flirting and sexting and all of that kind of good stuff. Could be really fun. It is Pisces after all, so just know that it's not necessarily known for its precision or its clarity, but it is a very sensual sign. It wants to merge, it wants to meld, you know, and sink into whatever or whoever it's attached or attracted to. So for those of you that are partnered, this could be really lovely, wonderful, amorous energy. For those of you that are single, be open to it, because there could be, you know, this is an ideal time to date, right? Get out there, for crying out loud. Set up, you know, a profile or four online, right? This is the time to really lean into it. Mercury is in a dreamy sign here though, so communication could be less precise and a little bit more sort of imaginative, and, you know, it's sweet nothings and all the rest of it. If you are creative by your nature, this could be wonderful, right? And what I'm talking about here is not I'm creating this for my business or I'm creating this for my boss. I'm talking about, like, so obviously you all know I love to dance, but more like outside of that, other things that I like to do are I like to colour, I like to draw, I'm not very good at all. I'm actually really awful, but I like those things, you know, like the adult colouring books. I find them really therapeutic. I love to listen to music. You know, I live with my headphones on, like literally just live my life with my headphones on. You know, I like, for me, like, it's always like the witchy, magic-y shows and stuff like that. I love things like that. So whatever brings you pleasure or joy, lean into more of it. This is a really great time for high fantasy. All right. It's also a really good time to connect with your inner child, whether that's through hobbies or play or just allowing yourself to dream, right? Just get into it. If you've got children, they are so lucky, because this is going to be a great time for you, right? You're going to be able to really connect with them in a way that matters, all right? For this, you've got the 6 of Pentacles, so you've got support, you've got the 5 of Wands, and also a little bit of healthy competition, and the 6 of Swords. So 2 6s represents balance or irritability. I'm seeing this as balance, right? But the balance only comes in if you're spending time with multiple people, right? So if you're partnered, you guys got to go out with your friends, go and have fun, connect with people, you know, have one too many drinks and then smooze down an alley, or right? I'm not going to get into it, but you catch the drift. If you are single, however, as I say, get out there. Now, it is the 6 of Pentacles and the 6 of Swords. So and it's because you've got this with the 5 of Wands, I almost feel here that someone is going to try to maybe strong arm you in a sense. And what I mean by this is, it's almost like they say to you, oh, well, you know, do you remember that time I did? And it's like, okay, I didn't realise we were cashing in favours, but yeah, you know, whatever you need. Or, you know, something along those lines. Just watch out for that. Now, the 6 of Wands with the 6 of Swords with the 5 of Wands If you've had an argument, a dispute, or maybe just a rocky situation with somebody that you actually really like, and not necessarily romantically, but just, you know, in general, as a friend, as a, you know, because Mercury rules for you your 11th and your 8th, so potentially even like friends or colleagues, maybe even, you know, all of those kind of things, sister in spirit, all of that. If things have been a bit weird or wonky, this will give you the chance to mend it. Because Pisces is a very compassionate sign as well, right? And then finally, on the 23rd, this is a double hitter. Venus will be at 10 degrees of Aries. She's going to be sextiling Jupiter in Gemini. So this is activating your 6th house and your 8th house. As if that wasn't enough, Mars will be trine to Mercury at this time. So this is activating the 6th and the 8th and the 9th, the 5th and the 9th. Venus in Aries, in your 6th house of work, routines, health, is bringing a sextile to Jupiter in your 8th house of shared monies, transformation, all of that kind of, you know, good, heavy, gnarly, taboo stuff. This alignment, though, might bring opportunities for improvement in the environment of your work, or potentially could see you carving out more space for R&R in order to continue maintaining like a healthy lifestyle. Venus in Aries is bold, right? She wants action. She's about movement, and is probably going to help you bring a lot more enthusiasm and grace to your daily work. Now, this sextile also means that there's a potential for you to either partner up and earn more money, or maybe create a, you know, like a funnel of some sort that generates money or funds. Now, Mars in the 9th, trining Mercury in the 5th. Not only is that a lot of laughter and a lot of fun, it's also a lot of really good learning that maybe doesn't necessarily feel like learning. Now, creating, it's obviously, whatever you're creating at this time, you're having a blast doing it, but you're potentially learning on the job at the same time. It's a really good time to address any long-term doubts or lingering issues that align, like, not even that align with your partner, but like if there's any issues or niggles that you've had, this is a really good time to talk them out. Together, these transits are always all kind of bringing in almost like a practical responsibility with an emotional sort of fulfillment twist. You know, really, yeah, I don't know, I really like it. And that's why I thought, because it's so big, and then on top of that, as if that wasn't enough, Mars on the very next day is going to be direct in your 9th house, right? So you've got the King of Swords, so your expertise, and the 8 of Swords, okay, and the 5 of Swords. So it may be that someone, you know, again, friend, colleague, partner, I feel like this is probably going to be a family member, if I'm honest. I don't know why, I just have that feeling, but I get the feeling that this person's going to kind of say to you, look, this is something that you're really good at, and you are wasting this talent, you're wasting this skill. What's wrong with you? Do you know what I mean? Like, they're really kind of giving you a bit of a nudge to say, like, you know, obviously what you do is up to you, but why are you wasting your time? It's like you spend all this time and energy and money, you know, doing this thing or working towards this thing, and now you're not even doing that. It's kind of like in The Devil Wears Prada when he says to, you know, you studied at Stanford Law or whatever it is, and now you're not even doing that, right? You're working in an office at a fashion magazine, and she's like, you know, it's a really good opportunity and blah, blah, blah. So, I don't know, I just feel like somebody might give you a little bit of a check from your family, and it's not coming from a place of like them being mean. I actually feel like this is because there's a genuine concern there. So, you know, don't feel that you need to explain yourself or justify yourself, but if somebody is kind of, you know, sticking it to you, it's not to be mean or whatever, it's just because they are actually genuinely worried, okay? Now, on the 12th of the month, we have the Leo full moon, the annual Leo full moon. So your needs around your career and shining out in the world and your obligations at home are being highlighted, and they're in a T-square with Uranus in the sign of Taurus in your relationship, connections, partnerships, contracts and commitment sector. Now, in a T-square, The way that I see this is, in a T-square, the planet that is the anchor is the way out or the way through. So Uranus is about change. It's in the sign of Taurus, and it's saying to you, even though this is, I mean, look, so much fixed energy here, but you are being invited to do something differently around your career. So, you know, you're being, well, yes, around your career, because that's where the moon is, but it's being tempered by this Uranus energy. It might be disruptive, and yet it also brings breakthroughs, especially around your career, right? But it's asking you to think about your business partnerships, client work. You know, if you're employed by somebody else, maybe this is a time where you start to think about what the long-term longevity of that is. And also, there could be an influx of new people or new connections on the work front that really sort of say to you, if you change this, you have the potential to go here. So your card for your full moon is the gate 50 and responsibility. So whatever opportunity shows up for you as a result of, or at the time of this full moon, it may be a chance for you to rewrite some kind of history or narrative. And what I mean by this is, let's say you get that offered that job, that really amazing promotion or whatever, and you're like, well, you know, it's going to take me away from what I really love. But then equally, it could be that you're like the first woman to get that position, or the first man, or, you know, the first person to get an opportunity to go to college in your family, or do you know what I mean? And so the responsibility, should you choose to accept it, no one says you have to, it could be that you're getting something that feels a bit like a burden, but also is going to go beyond you. You know, it's going to set a precedent of some sort. So no pressure. And then on the 28th of the month, you've got the new moon in the sign of Pisces in the 5th house, right? So a chance to start over. This is intentions that are around your passions and you know, anything that feels joyous and creative in your life, and also a chance to maybe make money from things that either feel good or make your heart race. This could also, because it's in a square to Jupiter, so it's probably not the best time specifically at the new moon to invest or to be, you know, making wild gambles on crypto and all of that kind of stuff. It is, however, a really good time to think about some kind of personal self-reinvention. And for this, you've got the gate 33 and looking back. Two messages. One, if you could go back to any period of your life where money and finances were really good or really easy and flowing in a way that made you feel really secure, when would that be? And what was different about then versus now? Look at that, first of all. And second, when it comes to a different version of yourself that felt, you know, like they were really truthfully aligned and living their truth, what was different about them and this current version of you? All right. And that's not to say that either one is better or any of that. It's just to say, by sometimes when we jog our memory about the past in that way, we can remember like, oh yeah, actually, you know what? I had it on lock, right? I was that shit. Okay. With that said, remember my tarot course is going to be going live this month. Stay tuned on my socials and on the YouTube community tab. If you want to study tarot with me, it's a 12-week course. You get 2 Q&As. As if that wasn't enough, you get live client practice, live client demos. And as if that wasn't enough, you also get more PDFs than you can shake a stick at. And if you know anything about me, you know Rafi loves a PDF. All right, so with that said, take care. Let me know in the comments how it shapes up, and I'll see you soon.